Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your #1 source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Today is a WRAL weather alert day as we see a few thunderstorms rolling through our evening that could impact your Easter plans. Thank you for joining us. I'm Eric Miller. Meteorologist Grant Skinner is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with more. Grant, how's the rest of our Easter looking?
Well, we have more scattered showers that continue. Thankfully, the majority of the storms have moved to the south and east, but along the actual cold front, we saw some scattered showers that linger from areas like even over Raleigh right now, some light rain up to the north and east towards Lewisburg, and some heavier pockets of rain back towards Chapel Hill as well, and some more rain back to the south and west. It will slowly work its way out of the area, but again, showers and a few storms can't be ruled out. That moves out early tonight, then we turn cooler for the start of this week, and then will be a dry week ahead. So we'll talk more about how that could impact our fire risk. And then something new that we're tracking, it's trending warmer into next week, so the cool air doesn't last very long. That severe threat has been dropped except for far southeastern portions of our area. Again, you could see a brief wind gust as that cold front swings through and brings those scattered showers, but overall that severe threat is looking a lot lower at this point after the storms that we saw earlier have already moved out. Here's that look at Futurecast, 7 o'clock. You can see the scattered showers that continue. They slowly work their way out of the area. A few lingering showers through 9, 10 o'clock, but then will be drier during the overnight hours. Still some lingering cloud cover during the first part of the day tomorrow. Slow clearing tomorrow, so we'll still have partly cloudy skies, and it will be just a cooler day overall. 49 to start tomorrow in Raleigh, 52 in Fayetteville, 48 in Durham, 45 in Roxborough. We'll be at 50 in Rocky Mount with partly cloudy skies. Again, we'll keep that lingering cloud cover. Highs only reach the mid-60s tomorrow, and you'll feel it more like spring this week. 66 on Tuesday, 64 on Wednesday. We have a reinforcing shot of cold air that moves in the middle of this week. And then by Friday, up to 75 degrees. We have an upper level ridge that builds back in. That'll bring more warm temperatures for the end of the week and next weekend. So up to 79 Saturday, 80 on Sunday. Looks like we'll stay in the 80s long term and next week. At least current trends are showing that way. Of course, Amy Wilmoth will have another update on that tomorrow morning. But 67 for your Monday, so it'll be a cooler day overall and staying in the mid-60s to the middle of the week. Overnight lows could drop to the 30s by Wednesday morning. So certainly feeling cooler out there.
Coats back out again. Grant, thank you very much. A former Wake Forest town employee is in custody tonight after police say she shot a man this afternoon, then refused to leave the home where it happened. WRAL's Bailey Stamos has been digging into this tonight and shares what she's learning.
Crime scene tape surrounds this home off of Perini Court in Wake Forest after police say a man was shot by his niece here this afternoon. Wake Forest police confirm 48-year-old Magda Holloway, the town's former public works director, was taken into custody after a man was shot in the foot. When police arrived, they say she originally refused to come outside, but did eventually. The man was shot and he refused to go to the hospital and was seen outside the residence when our breaking news tracker arrived on scene. We were able to speak to him. He says that an argument between him and his niece is what led to all of this. Holloway's family on scene declined to comment, but did note they do not support what the man told WRAL. Holloway's LinkedIn profile also shows that she is a current employee with the city of Raleigh. We are working to confirm that with city officials. Bailey Stamos, WRAL News in Wake Forest.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And that breaking news, Southeast Raleigh crash. Investigators say young people under the age of 18 are now in custody. Well, we have learned about how this all happened.
And a cold front moved through. A cooler day ahead. Temperatures will stay in the 60s. I'll show you when we could see some areas of frost across the area coming up.
Plus, returning to today, Savannah Guthrie returns to the morning show later today. What she says helped make that decision months after her mother was abducted. So many people right now wishing her well. Certainly hope that today goes well as she returns to the Today Show. Thanks so much for joining us here on WRAL News. Your time is 4:30. Bless you for waking up this early. I'm Chris Lovingood. Swinging into your Monday forecast, we have meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. She's hanging out with us here today, kind of walk you through what you can expect this morning. Kind of cool outside, though, Amy.
It is definitely cooler outside right now compared to what we've had over the last several days, all thanks to the cold front that moved through yesterday. This is a live look at downtown Raleigh. A little bit of a breeze. You can see the flags blowing there. We have gusts at 17 miles per hour in Raleigh and Durham. storm. So a little breezy today, on and off throughout the day. But Chris mentioned it's cool. It is 48 degrees right now in Roxborough, 50 in Durham and Raleigh, 54 down in Fayetteville. So anywhere from about 10 to 20 degrees cooler right now compared to this time yesterday. And high temperatures stay below normal today. So getting outside today, it'll feel comfortable. It's lower humidity as well. We have some drier air moving in behind the front. We'll be up to about 60 degrees at lunchtime today, and then a high temperature of 67 this afternoon. Some frost is possible by Wednesday morning. We'll take a town-by-town look at those morning lows coming up.
All right, that sounds good, Amy. We'll come back to your full forecast in a bit. Let's get you updated on this breaking news. We have learned there are several people under the age of 18 in police custody, and this is after a chase that happened in southeast Raleigh. We know that the WRAL breaking news tracker was on Dacian Road this morning around 3 a.m. And Garner police say that chase started on Timber Drive right before ending in a crash, but no one was injured. A Garner police vehicle was also damaged, but not by the driver who was being chased. We're working to learn more about how this all started. We're also working to get new information about a police response this morning in Raleigh. Look at your screen here. We saw 10 police cars outside the Woods Bar and Lounge on Rush Street. This was just after 2 this morning. There were also firefighters and an ambulance there, and we have reached out to Raleigh police to learn more about that situation. This morning, a former Wake Forest town employee will be in court after being accused of shooting her uncle. I'm talking about 48-year-old Magda Holloway. She's that woman right here on your screen. The shooting happened at a Wake Forest home yesterday, and police say when they arrived, she refused to leave the house. They also say the uncle refused to go to a hospital for medical attention. Actually, he told our team on scene an argument between him and Holloway, that is what led to the shooting. And some of Holloway's other family members there disagreed with the uncle's take on things. Holloway, at last check, is at the Wake County Detention Center, and her first appearance is this afternoon. We got another shooting to tell you about this morning. This one in Cumberland County. It happened yesterday afternoon on Dudley Road just after 4 p.m. Deputies say they found a man who was shot, and he is in the hospital at last check, but no word on his condition. We are still working to learn if a suspect has been arrested, and the sheriff's office believes there is no threat to the public. Okay, let's go ahead and get you caught up on the war in Iran this morning. President Donald Trump is threatening major strikes on Iran's energy infrastructure and bridges tomorrow by 8 p.m. He set a new deadline for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The president previously threatened to bomb the country's energy infrastructure before he delayed that attack. He insisted there were ongoing negotiations with Iran's leadership, but they denied this. Their leadership issued their own threats, in fact. They said the strait will stay blocked until Iran is paid for war damages. Meanwhile, the president is expected to give an update at 1 p.m. today, and this is regarding the rescues made from that American military jet downed over Iran. Now, as for the war's effect on gas prices here at home, in Raleigh, you will pay an average of $3.96 a gallon, in Durham, $3.98, and in Goldsboro, $3.86. Just a reminder, you can find the cheapest gas prices where you are with the WRAL fuel tracker. Find it on WRAL.com by searching the word fuel. Today, we expect to get a better idea of how Wake County will fund your child's public school. The County Board of Commissioners will address that at a budget meeting this afternoon. Let's go ahead and bring in WRAL's Ali Kadlabar to talk a little bit more about this live in front of the Wake County Justice Center. Ali, this will happen as a budget proposal from the school district is set to be presented tomorrow.
Yeah, and we're expecting to see some funding cuts in that budget proposal. As for today, commissioners are set to talk about the county and school facilities needs. Now, last month, Superintendent Robert Taylor, he told the school board he planned to ask county commissioners for a $25 million funding increase, and this is a lot less than what the district needs. The school board told Taylor they didn't support the idea, and Taylor said he'd come back with solutions Tuesday. WRAL education reporter Emily Walkenhorst says today we'll get a look at how likely the county is to support an increase in school funding.
They know Wake County Schools is going to ask for more money for facilities. They're already contemplating a potential bond referendum in November. And we'll get a lot more of an idea of what the appetite is for school funding specifically and for that bond referendum.
And county commissioners, as well as the state and the U.S. Department of Education, will determine how much money the school gets. Taylor is expected to present the budget proposal tomorrow night. And you can also find more on the NC Capital section of WRAL.com. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
You know, we are less than 12 hours until the Orion spacecraft makes its way around the moon for the Artemis II mission here. This is a feed of the mission as the 4 astronauts, including NC alum alumna Christina Cook, make their final preparations. The capsule entered the lunar sphere of influence around 12:40. That was this morning. And basically that means the moon's gravity has a stronger pull on the spacecraft than the Earth's gravity. The astronauts will make their pass around the moon starting around 2 p.m. NASA held a briefing last night ahead of today's flyby. Leadership of NASA said this mission, it is going to inspire the next generation of astronauts.
I know that the data we will get back will inspire the next generation of scientists and explorers, but it will also bring the moon closer and unite all of us.
The astronauts will surpass the record for the farthest humans have ever traveled from Earth since the Apollo 13 astronauts back in 1970. How about that? Well, this morning, Savannah Guthrie will return to the Today Show. It's been about 2 months since she had that leave of absence after her mother, Nancy, was abducted. Investigators believe Guthrie was kidnapped from her home early February 1st. Savannah says that she is returning to the show because her colleagues are her family, and she believes it's part of her purpose now. Oxford police say that a shooter is in jail and officers seized drugs and guns after a violent night in town. Police say that it started when a man was shot 5 times, and that was just before 12:30 a.m. yesterday. This was at a home on Raleigh Road, and that victim is in the hospital in serious condition. Officers actually arrested 22-year-old DeMarcus Wilkerson. He is now facing charges in this. Wilkerson is in the Granville County Jail on no bond in a search of surrounding homes, turned up guns, ammunition, cocaine, and more, according to investigators. They ask anyone with information to reach out to their police department. Starting today, construction for Phase 2 of the Complete 540 project will go forward. This phase will extend the Triangle Expressway an additional 10 miles. That will be from I-40 near Garner to the I-540 interchange in Knightdale. There are closures you need to know about, drivers, just a heads up. Tonight and tomorrow, I-87 south between Smithfield Road and Hodge Road will temporarily close. That will be in effect from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. Then you have I-87 north between Hodge Road and Smithfield Road. That will temporarily close on the 9th and 10th. We spoke to some drivers about their thoughts on these big changes for their commutes.
We do travel it a lot, but we'll just use the detours. And I think this is necessary. So it's probably a necessary evil right now to alleviate things that's coming in the future.
Now, drivers should follow detours posted to get around that construction. And Phase 2 is slated to open to traffic in 2028. So still got some time. Chapel Hill police are investigating the shooting of a man at an apartment complex. That happened just before midnight Sunday morning at the Rise Apartments on Westminster Drive. Officers found a man with gunshot wounds, and he was taken to the hospital. We're trying to get more information, though, about his condition this morning. At last check, no word on the suspect. And we are working to learn more about this crash right here in eastern Wake County. Look at this video. This was of the scene yesterday evening on Riley Hill Road near Maple Point Drive. A car was flipped upside down in that ditch that you see here, and State Highway Patrol is investigating. We have reached out to them to learn the conditions of the people involved and what actually caused this crash, but we haven't heard back just yet. Your time is 4:39 this morning. We've got more information this morning regarding this fire that you see here. What the Northampton County Fire Marshal is saying about how this started over the weekend. Plus, helping researchers. How the Artemis II mission is going beyond just getting information for NASA. What scientists are learning as well.
And it's a cooler start to the day. We're at 50 degrees right now in Raleigh. It stays comfortable this afternoon. I'll show you when we get back down into the 30s coming up.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
Welcome back. I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in for Elizabeth this morning. Some quiet weather out there, a little bit of a breeze, but overall pretty quiet this morning. You'll definitely notice the drop in the temperatures. It is cooler out there. 46 in Henderson, 45 in Roanoke Rapids. It's 44 in Siler City, 50 in Raleigh right now, 44 in Robbins, 53 in Irwin. It's 52 in Goldsboro. So we're about 20 degrees cooler right now compared to this time yesterday. Overall, it's going to be a pretty nice day. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds. High temperatures stay in the 60s today. 67 for the high in Raleigh, 68 in Fayetteville. This evening, it looks pretty good, although it will be cool. We'll be in the 60s through about 8 o'clock this evening, and then we're back down to the upper 50s at 9 and 10 o'clock, down into the mid 50s at 11 o'clock. And it's chilly tonight. We'll get down into the 40s across the area. It's even colder Wednesday morning. I'll show you who could see some patchy frost coming up.
All right, sounds good, Amy. We'll come back to you in just a bit. Folks, we are learning more about a response to a large fire in Northampton County. Please look at your screen so I can show you this. The fire sparked late Saturday night on Millstone Road, and this was just south of the Virginia border. Well, the county fire marshal says that fire likely started in a shed where a lithium-ion battery was charging and, well, likely malfunctioned. Firefighters were battling the windy and dry conditions while trying to put out the flames. The North Carolina Forest Service removed trees in the area to help stop the fire from spreading, but no other structures were damaged and no one was hurt. Today, contractors for the North Carolina Department of Transportation plan to close a section of Forestville Road, and this is for 1 month. It's so teams can replace a large pipe. Starting at 7 this morning, both directions of Forestville Road and Needham Road will be closed and stay closed until May 6th, so just so you know. Drivers are urged to use caution and slow down near the work zone and follow detour signs. The Trump administration is scaling back on plans to dismantle the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, but the agency could still see some major cuts. Under the administration's new plan, the agency's headcount would be reduced from 1,700 workers, I should say, to roughly 550. But the proposed cuts are being met with some resistance. The National Treasury Employees Union said that it opposes the staff reductions and would not support any changes to the Bureau's staffing levels. Despite the opposition, the CFPB is facing a bit of a funding crisis that may require them to cut staff. The Bureau has become largely inoperable because of the president's actions that he started in his second term. A new study shows that reputable health groups are unintentionally funding medical misinformation. Let me explain. Researchers at Yale University found health and government organizations accounted for more than 10% of ad revenue on websites promoting misinformation. Between 2021 and 2024, millions of dollars in ad spending landed on unreliable sites, often accidentally. Groups say that's because automated programs can place credible ads next to harmful content. So there's this saute pan sold in popular retailers, and it's being recalled over burn risks. Around 740,000 Granite Stone Diamond Pro blue saute pans are being recalled by E. Mishan and Sons. And the pans have a bit of a metal cap at the end, you can see, and it's on the handle, right? That can detach and then forcibly eject from the end when the pan becomes heated. There's been at least 98 reports of this happening, and they were sold through Costco, Walmart, and Amazon from August 2021 through February 2026. Consumers should stop using these pans immediately and contact the company for a full refund there. The Artemis II astronauts, they are more than halfway to the moon, but the further they get from Earth, the more they risk exposure to radiation in space. And while the mission is a key step in NASA's goal to develop settlements on the moon, it will also serve as a step toward studying the effects of space travel on the human body.
Radiation is something that we're very interested in learning everything we can about, because it's going to be the thing that we're going to have to protect our crew health, our crew systems, and all of our equipment from.
Well, and the mission could transform space medicine as scientists could unlock new ways to protect astronauts against radiation on future missions. What you cannot see on camera is Amy Wilmoth and I kind of looking at each other after that story I started talking about. It's so cool what they're doing up there, and I don't think people realize that this is why they need to have these special suits and make sure that NASA update them because of that radiation exposure.
Science is pretty cool, is what you're saying, right? Yes, it is. Yeah. All right, let's talk a little bit about the weather. Things to note this week with the next weather makers. We have some frost potentially by Wednesday morning. We'll get down into the low to mid 30s across a good part of the area. And then spring returns. We're back into the 70s and even 80s as we head toward the weekend, but certainly a cooler day out there today. This is a live look at downtown Raleigh. Weather from the Weld. It's beautiful out this morning. It's definitely cooler. We're at 50 degrees right now in Raleigh, 39 right now in Boone, about 20 degrees cooler across our area compared to this time yesterday. It should be pretty nice to head to the playgrounds today. We'll get into the upper 60s, so pretty comfortable. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds through the day today. The playground planner for the rest of the week really looking good. We have the green light for every single day. We don't have any rain in the forecast. We're going to talk more about rain chances and how bad we're doing with the drought across our state coming up in the next half hour. But the next weather maker for us, high pressure settles in, keeps the weather nice and quiet. The front rolled through yesterday. We're certainly feeling that today. It's going to be cooler. Our normal is 70. We get up to 67 today, 66 tomorrow, low 60s for highs Wednesday, upper 60s Thursday, and then 75 by Friday. And then some chilly mornings, 47 overnight tonight. The normal is 46. Wednesday morning is the morning I think we could see some frost. It wouldn't rule it out for Thursday morning in some of the outlying areas, but morning lows start to creep up as we head toward the weekend as well. We're back in the 50s for lows as we head into Saturday morning. Here's a close look at Wednesday morning. This is the day that I think we could see some patchy frost across the area. In the Triangle, it's not likely. We'll stay in the upper 30s, but Roxborough 34 in South Hill, 37 in Rocky Mount, 38 in Southern Pines. So it's going to be a chilly start Wednesday morning, but temperatures will climb as we head toward the end of the week. Nice and mild for the next several days, but back into the 70s on Friday and Saturday, and low 80s return by Sunday.
And that frost potential, this is why I have avoided planting any tulips. Thanks, Amy. Your time this morning is 4:49. We're talking about sequels and new seasons. The film getting a new look nearly 4 decades in the making, and the show trying to move forward after a major loss. Plus, honoring Greg Biffle, the Easter egg drop that helped bring the community together to remember his life. Good morning, Pittsburgh. Hopefully you had a nice Easter weekend filled with some delicious food and good time with families. Your time right now is 4:53 as you're waking up on a cooler morning. Movie and streaming news this morning as David Daniel walks you through what he is talking about in the world of TV this morning.
When does this happen in the movie?
We now know the when for the Spaceballs sequel. The long-awaited follow-up to the Mel Brooks Star Wars parody is due in theaters April 23, 2027, 2 months shy of the original comedy's 40th anniversary. Bill Pullman, Rick Moranis, Daphne Zuniga, and Brooks, who's now 99 years old, return to join a bevy of new cast members for the sequel. An official title has not been announced.
When it all comes together, you make a good movie. It's good forever.
The studio is facing season 2 without Catherine O'Hara. In a recent interview, the show's creators said they'd written her character into season 2 and, quote, the shockwaves permeate throughout the entire new season. O'Hara, who won the Actor Award for her role in season 1, died in January at age 71. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And she was such an amazing part of that show, too. She'll be missed. Well, all around the world and right here in the Triangle, Christians of all denominations gathered for Easter Sunday for sunrise services. And what you see right here is what it looked like yesterday morning outside the Holy Name of Jesus Cathedral in Raleigh, right across from WRAL Studios. You know, Easter is one of the most important Christian holidays, designed to celebrate the resurrection and symbolize hope and eternal life. Another large Easter service from yesterday was Raleigh North Christian Center. It happened over Raleigh's Memorial Auditorium this morning. And Jeffrey Chapman, he gave his Easter message. The service also featured gospel singer Enrique Holmes as well. A town in western North Carolina honored the late NASCAR driver Greg Biffle this weekend. The Black Mountain community hosted an egg drop in honor of Biffle, and you may recall that he died in December. Last year, Biffle and the Easter Bunny hosted an egg drop to lift the spirits of Helene victims. And this past weekend, the community dropped more than 17,000 eggs filled with candy or money. The event's organizers wanted to honor Biffle's generosity with this.
We are honoring Greg Biffle with this drop this year because he was our original pilot. So today is an extra special day. Not only are we paying it forward for the community, but we're also paying it forward for the Biffle family who did so much in this community during Helene.
And Biffle played a pivotal role in helping victims of Helene. His single rescue mission turned into a week-long effort. He and his team helped the hard-hit areas that were cut off by the storm. Well, the Carolina Hurricanes missed their chance to clinch the Metropolitan Division after a loss to the Ottawa Senators. Oh, the Senators beat the Canes 6-3 to move into the second wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. Carolina leads the East 2 points ahead of Tampa Bay, and they will next host Boston, and that is Tuesday night. Your time is 4:56 this morning. Tightening school budgets. The factors leading the Wake County school leaders to pull back on spending. Plus, returning to today, what led Savannah Guthrie to make that move back to the morning show just months after her mother's abduction? And chase and crash. The crash that led police to take someone in custody who's under the age of 18. We'll bring an update here on WRAL News.